Jared Cannonier has spoken up. He said, F your rematch. I've already beaten your champion. Give me the next shot. He's talking about Strickland. F the rematch. He's talking about Strickland versus Adesanya. Saying you should put me in. He was just the backup fighter, by the way. And I got to give credit to that. History says oftentimes if you're the backup fighter, you're next. Now, then again, that history statistically would change when the title changes hands. But I'm just bringing for you, it's not the world's worst argument. I would have attached it to something. I would have put something on it. If I was Jared Cannonier, I think that a stronger argument, because see, now you're thirsty, you just want the belt. There's nothing wrong with wanting the belt. It's just not as effective of a play as wanting the person. That's always been more effective. And we'll never know why 1 week ago, some middleweight somewhere didn't speak up and come after Sean Strickland. And Robert Whittaker got close, by the way. Robert Whittaker picked Sean Strickland. He did it in an extremely nice way, but that is a middleweight, and it did at least have Sean's name come out of his mouth. It would have been very different had he gone at him a little bit harder, but we'll give Whittaker a pass. And I just share for you, if you're in Cannonier's spot and you're going to speak up for possibly the first time ever, if you would have attached it to something, like by example, let me just give you, if Chito Vera gets the world title fight, so do I. If he could have made that a narrative. If Chito fights Sean, I fight Sean. And if he could have married those together, the entire argument that Chito Vera has is that he fought and beat the now champion. It's the exact same argument I have. By the way, what do you guys think of that? What do you think of that? Is that a strong argument? I would like for you to say yes. I know that you're not going to get on a big Jared bandwagon, but there's no fight that I could throw at you that's got Jared as half of it where you guys are going to go crazy. There's no fight anywhere on the roster that you go, yes, absolutely, that's must-see TV. I want to know what you think of the argument. If Chito Vera fights Sugar Sean, and he fights him on the basis that prior to championship, he beat him. If that argument is strong, should it apply to Jared Cannonier? Now, hold that thought. I hold that thought because I already know that I got a gun pointed at you and you're trying to think twice. You're trying to do some real fast talking. But if we are going to go under that math, then let me just throw you another suggestion. Shouldn't Sean's next opponent, I'm talking about Strickland, be Kamaru Usman? If we're going under the math of somebody that beats you, but they beat you at the wrong time. I know all sorts of guys that have beaten world champions, but they weren't ever a world champion. They beat the right guy, but they beat him at the wrong time. Paul Craig is just an excellent example because Paul Craig is an excellent fighter. But I happened to be there live. The night that he put on a jiu-jitsu display, he was in this position, he's rotating his hips and he's throwing this up and ultimately he damages the arm. Jamal Hill. Paul Craig beat Jamal Hill. The record books will reflect that. He submitted him. He did it in the first round. He made it look easy. I believe he was given an of-the-night bonus. He did all of the right things to Jamal Hill, except for he did it at the wrong time. He didn't beat him when Jamal was champion. Paul Craig isn't world champion. It's a relevant thing. And more than anything, I want to try to find a way to introduce to you to the weight class Kamaru Usman. Look, there was a story that was going around a couple of months ago that Kamaru Usman wanted to fight Chimaev, but people didn't believe it because he wanted a weight change. He wanted the weight change because he's not big enough for the weight class. And that was the only part that I was attempting to dispel. Like, those guys, it's business. Sometimes you got to stay out of it. And I know between Ngannou, Kamara, and Izzy, they had like a pact made, and that pact seemed maybe stronger than anything that somebody would want to interfere with for the reasons behind it. But I was very quick to remind you guys that Kamaru Usman is not small for the weight class. That Kamaru Usman's Twitter handle is Usman84, but 84 is representative of kilograms, which is the weight class he used to compete in, which was 185 pounds. I was just trying to bring this to your attention. I was also bringing to your attention the only reason that Kamaru was asking for a catch weight against Chimaev is so that it wasn't officially at middleweight, because if it was officially at middleweight, you would then have it be a number one contenders match, and Kamaru did not want to go and mess with what Izzy had going. And Kamaru didn't want to feint it or look like that in the media or give any appearance. But you would have to wonder who'd win between Kamaru Usman and Izzy. And people love to tell you MMA math doesn't work. Those people are jerks. MMA math works all the time. It is the single most scientific formula that we have. Two guys are going to fight who have never fought. Oh, guess what? There's a third guy, and they both fought the third guy. How did those matches go? Did one beat him and did one not? Did they both beat him, but they were different? One was long and drag out, and one was only 30 seconds. It's an extremely relevant factor. And now you have Kamaru Usman, who's yet to have an opponent. And that, amongst a few other things, is one of the great mysteries of MMA right now. Why Leon and Colby is not booked somewhere. Why Leon, who's healthy and happy, according to all the information we've been given, has only fought one time in the entire year. You're supposed to get 3. That's publicly known. Now, if you're injured or they can't get an opponent or you turn something down, it's a difference. He's fought one time. Either way, whatever the answer is, if you think you're Mr. Kreskin for having it, go ahead and share it. I'm sharing with you. That's one of the great mysteries of the sport. Where's that fight? Where is that fight and what is taking so long? Conor McGregor in the USADA pool. Another huge mystery. Is he ever going to have to go into the pool? Is he going to have to do the 180 days or is he not? If he's unwilling to do it, somebody should let Michael Chandler know that. Yuri Prohaska has a belt taken off of him for an injury that at worst was cured by a miracle and at best was just simply misdiagnosed. It's one of the two. Either way, if he's ready to be back, where is he? Like, there's a number of things that are where you just look around and go, I don't know. It sure seems like a hot topic. Why is nobody discussing it? And the return of Kamaru Usman falls into that same category. He says he wants to fight. He's going to end on press. He's done media. We've seen him. Oh, he looks beautiful. Oh, Kamaru looks great. I like him at 185 because I like the parody. The last I've heard from Kamaru, it sounds like that's not on the table. He wants to go down to 170 pounds. But now you've got a factor of MMA math. You have a massive story, should somebody have the courage to tell it, and that's going to be between them. Apparently, I'm not the one with the courage, but you have a massive story about wanting to bring pride and honor back to that belt and where you want that belt to be from and represented. It's a story that they have begun to tell. Now, if that's Izzy's story and nobody should get involved, fine. That's a story within itself, and I'll listen. But you still have the MMA math factor. And there would still be something very big if Kamaru Usman was to come and talk about where he wants that belt and where he wants to return it to, and that he's going to be the one to go and do it as he's already done once before. It's a powerful story. It would get people listening. It would put Kamaru into a new weight class. Might find him into a world title fight, but it would put him into a new weight class. And of all the things that have happened with the fallout of Sean Strickland, with all the moving parts that we've got up in the air, for some odd reason, nobody's discussing that there is a common opponent. That common opponent is Kamaru Usman, who doesn't have an opponent who's flirted with the weight class. For me, that's interesting. Where you want to go with it and what you do with it, that's up to those guys. But we got a lot of loose ends in MMA. Where's Kamaru Usman? Who's next for Kamaru Usman? And moreover, what weight class is that going to be at? That's amongst the great mysteries that I and nobody else appears to have an answer to.